I woke up a little bit early this morning to just catch the sunrise with you guys and have some coffee and talk to you a little bit about something that's changed my life more than anything. And hopefully it'll help you with your life too. And it's really simple. So let's get to it. Welcome to Truck House Live, baby. Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well today. Just caught a nice sunrise and just drinking a little bit of coffee and relaxing here. And I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about something that's changed my life for the better. It's a really awesome thing to live by, and I truly feel it's helped me accomplish everything I've accomplished the last 20 years. So what I want to talk to you guys about this morning is the law of attraction. And the simplest way I can explain it is if you truly think about what you want in life and you go after it with everything you've got, you'll get it. You'll achieve what your accomplishment or goal is. I like to think that everything in life is energy. Whether it be positive or negative, it's all energy. And how you interact with that energy is going to shape your life. So with the law of attraction, at least the last 20 years of my life, I've really focused on putting out the energy that I want to attract back to me, positive energy. So if you're putting positive thoughts and positive energy into what you do in life, you're going to get positive results back. It really is that simple. With that same thought, if you're thinking negative thoughts, you're thinking, oh, I can't do something, oh, it's too difficult, oh, that would never happen for me, then of course it's not going to happen for you. It really doesn't matter what you're trying to obtain. It doesn't matter if it's a car, a house, a significant other, happiness, you name it. You really have to believe that you can obtain something to obtain it. So I'm going to share with you guys how I bring the law of attraction into my life. So the way I like to think about it is your mind is essentially a garden. So you can put anything you want into that garden and grow it, just like you can with the fields outside. So what I try to do is truly think about what's going to make me happy and what I want, what direction I want to go towards. Once I know what that goal is, then I plant the seed in my mind. I want it to stick in there and be thinking about it and manifesting it. That way it can become something. Just because you planted that seed in your mind doesn't mean it's going to happen. If you put a seed out in a field, it's not just going to grow. You have to tend to it. Tend to your thoughts just like you tend to a garden outside. You have to be accountable for that seed that you planted in your mind. So what I like to do is once I've thought about what's going to make me happy and I put that seed in my mind, I start thinking about what I can do to obtain that happiness or that objective or goal. And once I start thinking about what I have to do to achieve my goal, I'll start working towards that. I'll physically start working towards that. I'll start lining up my cards in that direction. Whether it's saving money, planning out an experience, or a trip, doesn't matter what it is, you have to start stacking the Legos, stacking the building blocks to get to that final goal. And you have to physically do it and physically put your effort into it. And the really cool part is the universe is going to be on your side if you're manifesting this stuff. If you start manifesting and thinking about something and put all your energy into it, it's going to happen. It really will. It might not be overnight, because you don't have a way to control time. You just have to let things come to fruition naturally and just be really patient with it. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is if you think about something and you work towards it physically, the combination of those two things is going to bring your desires to life, to fruition. and you're going to be eating the fruits of your labor, which is awesome because you deserve it, you know? So I want to share with you guys a few of my goals that seemed unattainable until I started thinking, okay, this is possible, and working towards that. And I've actually reached all these goals now, which is awesome. The first big one was moving to Alaska. I grew up in a really small town in the North Georgia mountains, and no one ever left the town. You were born there and you stayed there, and that's just how it went. My dad had a bush cabin up here in Alaska when I was pretty young, middle school. And we'd come up here probably every other summer for a little bit, and I just loved it up here. It just truly felt like home. And I knew I wanted to be here. All through high school, I wanted to come up here. Sometimes it seemed really difficult to do because people didn't do that in the small town I grew up in. Everyone stayed there and lived their lives there. I remember in high school just telling all my friends, like, oh, I'm moving to Alaska. I'm going to be moving there. And, they doubt me because it did sound crazy. I'll admit it. But I just started working towards that direction, and a little bit after high school, I just moved up and went for it, and I haven't left. It's been 20 years now, and still love it. It's the best decision I've ever made. Another kind of crazy project that seemed impossible was writing a book. As you guys probably know, I'm really into whitewater kayaking, and when I moved up here, there was only one guidebook, and it was really outdated. And the whitewater paddling community was really small in Alaska. The state just needed another resource for paddling destinations. It seemed really impossible, but I thought, I think I could write a book. I know that sounds crazy, but I think I could do it. So I planted that seed in my mind, and for 5 years, I just started slowly working towards that goal. I'd go out and paddle rivers and take a bunch of pictures and take notes of where things were and how rapids were, and documented all those experiences. And about 5 years after putting all that work into that guidebook, it happened. I self-published it, and it was super awesome. It gave me a really strong sense of accomplishment and a sense of I can do anything if I put my mind to it. And it felt really good helping people and contributing, It just felt like a contribution and a labor of love. And I think printing that book out and distributing it just really kicked off this law of attraction thing to me. It just really set in stone that, hey, if I put my mind to something, I can definitely achieve it. You guys can too. It's the same for all of us. Sorry if my voice is getting shaky, y'all. It's actually kind of cold out. It's probably a little bit below zero. It's probably like -2 or -5 or something. It's cold. So another really big thing that happened to me back in 2012 is I had to move out of a house because all my roommates were moving out. So it's just time to leave the house. Man, I was just so tired of moving. Every year I'd have to move to a different apartment or different house. And it finally hit me. I wanted to solve this problem of having to move every year. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna go buy an RV, and I'm gonna live in this RV until I can afford to build a cabin, and then I'll just move out of the RV into the cabin, and I'll never have to move again. I started thinking about it, and it was just a thought just for a second, but I planted that seed, and I started to work towards that. So I started researching RVs, and if it was even possible to live in an RV in the winter in a super cold climate and not be tied in, just be off grid, be moving around to a different place every night. And I couldn't find anything on it, but I just went for it anyway and flew down to California, took out a loan, and bought a Toyota RV, a 4x4 RV, and drove it back to Alaska. And that Toyota RV changed my life for the better. I full-timed in it for 6 years, met the best friends I've ever had in my life, and it just reshaped everything, all my priorities, and for the better. And in 2018, about 6 years after I moved into that camper, the opportunity rose for me to buy some property in one of the most beautiful towns in Alaska. I bought it from my boss, who I used to raft guide for. He owned it. And my old man flew up here, and we built a cabin. That had been my dream since I can't even tell you when. I always wanted to build a cabin with my dad. There's just something really special and something I really wanted to do. It took a lot of thinking and planting the seed, and it took a ton of work to cultivate everything and bring it to life and make it happen. And now I'm reaping the benefits of it. I've got a cabin that I built with my dad in my favorite town in Alaska, and it's just like, wow. It just seemed like a dream not that long ago, And all because of that law of attraction and thinking about it. And the most recent thing I've been using the law of attraction for is this whole truck house thing. So once the cabin was built, I still knew that I loved being on the road and adventuring. I wanted to create something else to enable that lifestyle. Hence the truck house. I had some leftover wood from the cabin and I thought like, hey, let's try to build like a tiny cabin in the back of the truck. That would be sweet. So I planned this cabin out for months, sat there and designed it, thought about everything I wanted in it, and went for it. I just sold the Toyota RV, which is really hard to do. It was my home, but sold it and started putting this thing together. And about 3 months later, here it is. I started using it for adventuring and realized that I miss filming stuff. So I thought, hey, why don't I start recording my adventures again? Because I do love filming and enjoy editing and the creative side of that, and incorporate this unique truck house into it because people love that. And I feel like I could really create something that people enjoy and that I enjoy doing and could kind of fuel and fund my lifestyle with it. And it's working. It's crazy. And hence this whole YouTube thing came about. And I've been doing YouTube since the platform started, you know, in 2006-07, but not seriously, not doing it every week. So I started going out and filming weekly episodes and just trying to capture my adventures and share them with you guys. You guys have all responded well to it. Here we are. It's starting to fuel and fund the adventures in this lifestyle, and it's super awesome. It's kind of unreal. It's like a dream again. It's like living your dream, and it's just so possible. You have this one life and you just have to go after it. You've got to live your dreams. Like, this is all you've got. It doesn't matter how big your dreams or goals seem, you can accomplish them. If you start thinking about them right now and put your energy into it, you'll accomplish them. Anyhow, it's kind of cold, so I might start moving again. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys and share how I've made everything in my life come true. Hopefully you can do the same thing. Think about what you want, plant those seeds in your brain, and start working towards those thoughts in your brain. And you'll see, you'll get what you want in the end, and it's pretty cool. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for my next videos. I try to release them once a week and try to keep the topics interesting for you guys, or the adventures interesting. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.